Let's talk hoops in the Big 12. UCF upsets Texas A&M, a top 15 squad, rushes the court, and every Big 12 team won yesterday, except for the Baylor Bears. And while I wanted to start with UCF, who preseason, Johnny Dawkins' team, enough production coming back. They are at the very least a high-end NIT team, NCAA Tournament bubble team in the toughest conference in college basketball. I have absolutely blown away with how they played, and I wanted to wax poetic, and I will get there. I first have to start with the Baylor Bears, my alma mater. This was the most embarrassing performance that I have seen in a day one marquee game ever. 101-63, you lost to Gonzaga. And there's a difference in, we got to fit the pieces together. And there's a couple things we got to figure out. We have some younger guys. There's a difference in that and getting embarrassed, your doors blown off. Kansas beat Howard by 30. Like Iowa State beat Mississippi Valley State by 39. Arizona beat Canisius by 29. You lost by 38 points. You're the number 8 team in America. Have some shame. The only highlight from VJ Edgecombe, who is supposed to be Baylor's great player, that's a top 5, top 10 pick, was lauded by Buddy Hield as one of the best players in the world, maybe even. His only highlight came against Mark Few's son, who only got in the game because Gonzaga was up by 34. And when Baylor went down by 19 at halftime, they did even worse in the second half, getting outscored 52-33 and still not putting up. Like, they allowed 52 points in the second half where it should be garbage time. We slow down. Nope. We had 49 in the first 20, 52 in the second 20. And you don't owe me. If you watch this game, I'm frustrated partially because I stayed up so late to watch this thing. You don't owe me winning this game or playing with effort. You don't owe, if you're one of these players, you don't owe the Big 12 playing effort. You don't really owe anybody an effort. You can give up. That's fine. But as somebody who's followed Baylor for a very long time, as a conference that has utilized Baylor in the last decade as one of its top basketball powers, creating a powerhouse league, you owe Scott Drew more than that. You owe the coaching staff of Baylor University more than a 101-63 drubbing. And a couple shots didn't go our way, and Gonzaga made quite a few. Yeah, that's the story in an 81-68 loss. You got beat 101-63. There was borderline nothing impressive about Baylor. 2 for 11 for VJ Edgecombe. Ormier's good, 5 for 12. He was the team's leading scorer with 15. I thought also Rob Wright played well. You shot 37%, 14% 3 for 21 from 3, and embarrassed yourself, pissed down your leg. There was visible pee on the basketball floor. They had to come out, mop it up with towels. That is unbelievably bad. Gonzaga might be an NBA team. Maybe. Are they 38 points better than you? Again, have some shame. Like, look at Scott Drew in the eyes and don't do that. Then there's UCF. This is awesome. Just watching college basketball in the Big 12 and knowing that maybe the 12th or 13th best team, which isn't a knock on UCF, it's just how deep the league is. The 12th or 13th team could very well be a bubble squad in the NCAA tournament and a couple of wins away from being an 8th seed in the NCAA tournament. And you go out there and you do this, that rocked to watch. And may I say, Darius Johnson, I want to be your friend. I want to shake your hand. Dude was electric in last night's game in leading his team to a win against Florida. And the way the game ended in dramatic fashion, which you think, UCF's probably going to lose. And then guess what? They didn't. And you rush the court. That is how you put the Big 12 on a pedestal. That is how you open the season. Now, 17 field goals isn't great. 34%, that's not great. 3-point shooting, 8 for 26, could be worse. You made enough free throws to win. 71% at 22 for 31. In watching this game, Florida may have deserved to win. 32-14 points in the paint. These are the notes that I've written down on my notes, which, by the way, I'm going to get to some really fun ones that I have over the course of the day that I just show the depth of this conference. UCF, you won. And that's all that matters. And I had a lot of fun watching the ending. Not a lot of fun watching the entire game, including getting down by double digits, but a lot of fun watching the ending. Kansas wins against Howard. Houston wins against Jackson State. Iowa State over Mississippi Valley State. Arizona over Canisius. Cincinnati blows the doors off Arkansas Pine Bluff. West Virginia beats Robert Morris. DeVries starts what could be a great career in Morgantown. TCU puts up triple figures. A lot of teams put up triple digits. They beat Florida A&M. Utah 100-59 over Alcorn State. Oklahoma State beats Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of Green Bay, though the first half seemed kind of rocky. I was very worried watching the first half. I was like, I'd subscribe to ESPN Plus for this, but you won. Then Colorado beats Eastern Washington 76-56. Everyone in the Big 12 winning, not named Baylor. Here's the cool stuff that I put in my notes from earlier today. Utah, Gabe Madsen. UCF, Thaddeus Johnson. Oklahoma State, Bryce Thompson. Cincinnati, Simus Lukosius, or something similar to that. TCU, Vashon Allett, Zeke Mayo of Kansas, Tucker DeVries of West Virginia. That's it. Those 7 guys were the leading scorers in the Big 12. We don't get to a second team. We don't get to a second guy on one team being in that leading scorer category of the conference until 8th, Dan Skillings, who's also playing for Cincinnati. That just shows. I mean, we had 7 guys, 7 different teams who all were in the leading scorer category for not just their teams, but the conference 1 through 7 on guys who showed out yesterday. That's cool, man. It's cool to see 7 different guys, no repeat teams in that first 7, because we have individual stars already starting to rise for each of these schools. And I didn't mention Hunter Dickinson. Caleb Love. There are still guys, Taman Lipsey, LJ Cryer, who are stars of the Big 12 that weren't in that first 7 that I just gave you. That's great. And it bodes really well for this league moving forward. When the Mount Rushmore of guys in the league aren't necessarily in that first 7, that's kind of cool. Amani Hansberry, West Virginia. Dan Skillings of Cincy was a machine, not just scoring, but on the glass. Ernest Uday. The more that I look at the depth of this league, as I was building my notes, Jizzle James, Milo Suzanne, as I'm building my notes, there were a couple of things that I had to put together in my brain. The first of those things, dang, we have a lot of complex names that I got to keep up with, and this is worse than football. And the other thing, dang, we have a lot of names that I've heard, that you've heard, that may not be household necessarily, but they're really good. To Jizzle James, to Uzan, to Miro Little at Utah, the Baylor transfer who looked really good, to Caleb Love at Arizona. I even mentioned DeJuan Harris, who dishes the ball out a lot. I just like this league, man. I had a lot of fun watching this league. I have a lot of fun reading the names. Keyshawn Gilbert, I have a lot of fun reading the names. Taman Lipsey, Mercy Miller. It just makes me happy, man. It makes me really, really happy to see winning and good Big 12 basketball. Basketball. It's one of my favorite parts of the year. BYU plays today. A couple teams play today, which is fun. I'm going to enjoy that. I had fun last night, except for Baylor. That was horrendously bad. Oh, Drake, you're being mean. Look at the score. This has been, it always will be. Come back tomorrow for more. Let's talk BYU, Utah. I stayed up till 1:42 to watch that Baylor. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.